Thank you, everyone here, for being so patient and taking your time to come out here and do a workshop and hear a little bit of a talk on why you should build a ZK game for the Aleo Arcade. So, I'm Matt. I am one of the co-founders of Puzzle. You can see my following there for any news. And yeah, this talk is going to be two parts. First part is just about the Puzzle Arcade and Puzzle more generally. Some motivation around why you should do the next part, which is your first ZK game on Aleo. So if I could have everyone in the audience right now, if you're like me, you may enjoy opening up whatever repo and getting set up while I go through some of the other slides. So that is the QR code there for the docs and the instructions for getting started on building your first ZK game. So I'll give you a second to scan that QR code and give it a shot. All right, I'll give it a couple more seconds. It's also just docs.puzzle.online. And then you'll see the build your first ZK game in under an hour. And that's going to be here. So jumping in, about the Puzzle Arcade. First and foremost, who is Puzzle? What is the Puzzle Arcade? Why a community for this arcade? And what roles and such are we kind of looking for? And are they paid right now? And then, jumping in. So who's Puzzle? We're the team behind one of the main two wallets on Aleo. Actually, there's now three. So we're behind the Puzzle Aleo wallet. We have mobile and extension. We are also the team behind the Puzzle SDK for building simple Aleo dApps, as well as specific features that are great for hidden information games, multi-party state, and multi-party games like Treasure Hunt and Where's Alex. Additionally, we are backed by some of the biggest names in the space, like Bain Capital Crypto and Six Man Ventures, as well as one of the earliest grantees from Aleo in Q1 of 2022 on testnet 2 days, as well as working with on-chain orgs like Krause House and Launch Code Capital. And why are they focused on us? Because we are focused on bringing more users and more organizations on-chain. We think that the chain allows for more programmable money and more exciting future that we like to call dynamic collective capitalism, but that's only possible if we have orgs coming on-chain and users coming on-chain. And that's what we think the arcade could provide. So here's a little bit about what the dynamic collective capitalist future, this programmable money, what could happen whenever we have on-chain orgs and on-chain users here. It's a quick AI-generated video, and I'm just going to talk over it to give you guys an idea. So let's say I'm an analyst. I'm waking up in London. It's the first of the month, and I'm about to go to work. I go to my local coffee shop, and they have programmable money that's on-chain. And what can I do with that? Well, I'm also on-chain, and I could program, instead of a tip that just goes towards a general thing, I could say, hey, this tip is going to go towards a Sunday musician. This tip is going to go towards an end-of-the-month party. Or maybe it's for funds for greening the supply chain that they use for transporting. That's something that you can do with programmable money, but that's only possible when you have users and orgs that are all operating on-chain on these new rails. So let's say I get my coffee, I get my phone, I'm playing some puzzle games on the way to work, and I am racking up some points that I could redeem later. I go into the office, I'm on this new AI and blockchains team, and what am I doing? I'm analyzing a bunch of data. What data am I analyzing? Well, I'm looking at our billing data because, again, the energy company in this case, Con Edison, which is the New York energy company, could be on-chain, and its users could be playing with on-chain rails. And there's like 2,000 employees there, all paying $200 a month. That could be $400,000 a month that can be allocated towards some specific division. And if you have programmable money, you can actually say, like, hey, I want this to go to an employee housing fund, or I want this to go to an employee school fund, or I want to go to a Christmas cash bonus, and you could actually program the money that way. So that's kind of at a larger scale, and then, oops, I clicked out of this. What happens when you have on-chain users and on-chain orgs, and you could program money and actually direct it in the ways that you want it to. So maybe I give the results on this, maybe the bulk of it went to real estate, and I'm looking at new things that I could potentially win at my company. Then I go and redeem my points. They're not pointless anymore. I could redeem them at a local bar called Puzzle Bar or something. and play some games with my friends at night. So yeah, that is what could happen if we have more on-chain users and on-chain orgs. That's what happens if you can have simple games tied to real-world businesses, like that bar at the end of the night example, and that's kind of where we think the arcade comes in. So this digital arcade, you can kind of think of like a Dave & Buster's. Can I get a raise of hands if you're familiar with the concept of an arcade? Okay, you play games made by different people. You can play a racing game, you can play a shooting game, you can play a basketball game. At the end of that game, they give you tickets based on how hard that game was, and then you go to an arcade store where they have products from different manufacturers, like a candy maker, you may have iPod headphones, you may have big plush pillows like there. And you could redeem at set exchange rates those tickets from those games for the prizes in the arcade store. Now that exists in brick and mortar, that exists in real life, in like Dave & Buster's Arcade, but that's been hard to bring digitally because you need something like Aleo and something like Puzzle to provide the infrastructure to do that. You need trustless smart contracts to make sure that you can't just print points willy-nilly at any of these games. You can't just print tickets and bankrupt all the arcade store participants. And you need Aleo to be able to keep the walled garden nature that makes digital and modern businesses so successful. Modern businesses don't want to give up their data around who all their customers are, and modern games use their walled gardens as big hooks to be able to charge fees of like no ads or something, and that's essential to their business model too. So they really need to go from a walled garden to a shared community garden that also has walls around their data and protections and programmable privacy, and that's something that is possible now with Aleo and Puzzle. So this is where we're going with the Puzzle Arcade, and we think the best start for Aleo is just simple hidden information games. We're talking crossword puzzles, we're talking Sudoku, we're talking like the simplest form of Battleship. And then we can tie that with real-world rewards and on-chain orgs. We have built a simple Shopify integration to be able to test this out. It's very much a work in progress, but we could start to see glimmers of the future here, and you'll actually see our real-life arcade. If you're watching this video, it may catch in the corner, and we have some real-life prizes to go with that, too, to kind of drive this point home. So currently, there are 5 games and a handful of digital shops with that Shopify integration that we've tested out. And that's where the whole Puzzle Arcade community comes in, because we found from these simple games that it's hard for us to even market our own games. It's hard for us to even find connections to our own local shops that we want to be able to redeem game rewards with shops. And it's hard to do blog posts, short-form videos, long-form videos, podcast on all the great work that we're doing. And we think that we have tested this out with the first cohort of people using our SDK and our stack for games. And yeah, they're kind of shorthanded to do this type of stuff too. So we think a community for this arcade is kind of the best way to go. And what do we also think it could do? We think it creates something with real-world impact that's only possible on Aleo. And we think that's a really exciting thing that the Aleo community could really use as kind of a reason to have people going to the chain, a reason for people to be excited about the chain, and a reason for people to be bought in and collectively participate and help solve these problems that we need a community effort to solve. So yeah, this community could serve as an ambassador for product creators and developers and ambassadors, communicators, and community organizers to all kind of link up and make magic happen. And it could create just a fun environment, shared sense of belonging for all those parties involved. So we're looking for all these roles if you're interested, but yeah, right here is just the Discord link if you want to sign up for it and see what's going on. It is very much a work in progress. Right now, we're just trying to get people interested in all those specific roles. And hopefully by the end of the month, we have like a nice community with a nice roadmap that can say like, okay, these are the things we need to execute to be successful for the time that Aleo mainnet comes in a few months. So with that, I think we're good to dive on into just ZK games with Puzzle SDK and Puzzle Wallet and how to make this arcade a reality with the games side. So just a heads up about the Puzzle SDK, there's a lot of gaming SDKs, there's a lot of gaming infrastructure that exists out there, and what we are explicitly trying to do with this is simple ZK games with hidden information and shared state. So what does that mean? simple in our head is just peer v peer. So if you think Battleship or Guess Who, it's just a 1v1. You're playing someone else, and you have a shared state, which is the board, and you have one side of the board that may be your side, which is hidden information on your end, and you have the other side of the board, which is hidden information on their end. So that is like one of the simple ZK games with hidden information that we're talking about with shared state. The next type is something like poker or blackjack, where you have maybe one dealer that is playing a small handful of peers, and we call that like an N versus P or small N peers game. And again, you have this shared state of this whole table that everyone should be able to see, as well as private state to yourself around what your cards are or what the dealer's cards are before they flip. So that's another type of ZK game with a puzzle SDK that you can do. And what's coming soon is we're working on crossword puzzles, Wordle, Sudoku. Can I get a raise of hands who's familiar with the New York Times crossword? All right. So that is an example where the New York Times is the one big party, and they send it out to a large number of peers, and then they could say, like, hey, I have the hidden information around what the right answer to the puzzle is. You have to guess towards me. So it's big number of peers versus one peer game. So what we are not is we are not a ZK game for large, massive multiplayer online games or autonomous world games utilizing hidden information or shared state. So that is not like World of Warcraft, Roblox. That's not what we're trying to be. We are just focused on a very narrow set of simple games like little 1v1 things or like crossword puzzles or Sudoku or Wordle. So how does the puzzle wallet and SDK kind of help here? You'll see this is a screenshot of the wallet. In our shared state for games, we actually create shared state accounts in the wallet. We hide them from you on iOS. In extension, we actually share them to you. We use Puzzle Wallet and Wallet Connect for kind of the user interaction and state management on the individual side and on the shared state side. And then we use the SDK for interacting with the shared state and the user state in a ZK game. On top of that, we have example repos, which we'll jump into, and we have dev tools and infrastructure for testing. Last but not least, I should note that the wallet is capable of a lot of things, and we do a lot of things under the hood to make it easier for you. First and foremost, we are non-custodial. We don't custody any keys. We have what we call Aleo account abstraction and feeless transactions, so you don't have to worry about proving speeds or proving times. We have local and delegated proving, as well as feeless transactions, so you don't have to pay for any of the transactions you're doing or worry about that whenever you're testing or using it. We have programmable and MPC multisigs, because under the hood of some of these games, they're actually using programmable private multisigs. We're mobile first, so you don't have to worry if you want to make your game to be mobile screen view. And Wallet Connect compatible, so you can even do things like this arcade, where someone could walk up and actually log into an arcade machine. Using Wallet Connect, we have fast proving, fast state management, iOS and extension today, and the shared state for ZK games, and account abstraction and feeless transactions for your shared state as well. So without further ado, you guys want to, if you're doing the workshop, would recommend scanning this or going to docs.puzzle.online. And there's a section called Build Your First ZK Game with Puzzle SDK in under an hour, and that's what we're going to go through in the last 30 minutes. Okay. And last but not least, how does this hidden information game work? So can I get a raise of hands of who's familiar with Battleship? Okay. So Battleship has a 10 by 10 board. You hide 5 ships. You maybe have like 20 turns between you and the person. The game that we're going to be doing today is a 2 by 1 board. You hide one thing, and you only have 1 to 2 turns per person. So it's the simplest form of Battleship that you can get, but it's the same general thing where, you know, Battleship has its rules, and then what you do to start a Battleship game is you set a hiding spot, and then you share the game board with someone else, and then you say, hey, I'm going to guess what my opponent has, and then my opponent reveals whether it's right or wrong. So that's what the game is that we're going to go through today. All right, so let me get this up. And you guys, for the folks in the room, is mind raising your hands if you have Leo downloaded or Snark VM downloaded, Snark OS? Okay. Let me see if I can. All right. So I think the first thing that we have listed in this is just to download Puzzle Wallet, use our dev tools, and play Where's Alex. So let's just show you that real quick first. If you don't have Puzzle Wallet, let me see if, well, actually, I don't know if I want to delete it completely. Okay, let me. Yeah. All right, so let's actually, I'm going to do it on a fresh browser profile. Close out of this guy. Okay, for those following along, we can go by this step by step through all the steps and see how fast we can go through it. So the first thing is, let's download the Puzzle Wallet. We're going to add to Chrome. Let's see, okay. Let me pin that. We're going to create a new wallet. Does anyone have our wallet right now? Do you have the referral code? Huh? Oh, okay. Do you have a referral code on your wallet? Yeah, if you just read it, it's not like secret or anything. Okay. Big F, big Y. 2, little b, 1. Ah. Okay, so V1. Okay. 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 4. All right, referral code accepted. Let's go. You should have some points. And you should have enough points to get some Cajun spices, if you want. All right. So we got a wallet created. We use that referral code. I got 50 points as well. Thank you very much. And yeah, feel free to go on and get some Cajun spices. If anyone else, if you get 100, I think we're out of the merch, but if you get 10 referrals and 500, we have very expensive sunglasses over there too for you guys. So I think we have it over. If you guys are curious, this is what we have right now. We're all out of this merch, but we do have Cajun seasoning. And we have some Crew $250 to $295 sunglasses over there if you get 500 points. So feel free. If you just do 10 referrals, you'll get that. So yeah, jumping back into this, let's go back to the docs because I got the Puzzle Wallet now. All right. So we got. Yeah, we have some under the hood turnstile like Cloudflare protection. So sometimes it may find you get IP rate limited on certain stuff, like for instance our faucet and things. And then we're actively looking at different ways, but we just rolled that out this week. So we're gonna see how people attack it and then see what to respond. So we'll see. Okay, so we can go to play Where's Alex. Yeah, I think you guys are just in time if you want to do the workshop. If you go to docs.puzzlewallet.online and build your first ZK game, you can participate in our workshop too right now. Let me go here. So I got to clear some things real quick. Get this guy up and running. All right. So first thing I did was create an account. now I can go to, you can kind of ignore, these are a little bit outdated on waiting for Aleo credits or puzzle pieces to hit. But now I'm going to go to Where's Alex and connect my wallet. So let's see if the Wi-Fi is good to me. If not, I may need to refresh this. There it is. Okay. All right, so that's me connected. You'll see these puzzle prudens. I actually don't know. Are you guys familiar with who Alex Pruden is? He was the CEO of Aleo Foundation, so we kind of made this in a hackathon as like more of a proof of concept for tech, but also a fun game, so we kind of threw him in. So that's where Alex comes from, but you can make it your own after this. So the next thing we're going to do is mint some puzzle prudens with Puzzles dev tools. Can you guys see my screen? Can you guys see the instructions here? If so, right. So what you're going to do is go to our dev tools. I am obviously connected to a different wallet, so I'm going to connect here. And now that I'm connected, looks like I have no credits, but it doesn't matter if I have credits or not, which you guys are going to see in a second. So I'm going to go to the instructions here, and I'm going to mint myself some pieces. Everyone has access to the money printer on this. Enjoy it. So in order to mint yourself some puzzle prudens, you'll need to call the mint private function on the Aleo program. So the Aleo program is called puzzle pieces v15.aleo, and you're going to put that in the create event on our dev tools. I'm going to use the function ID mint private, and then you're going to take your Aleo account address, and let's just make 500. So you'll find your Aleo account address up here. You can also copy it there. And so now I am going to create the event by pressing create event. So we should see, okay. Oh, it looks like it was not connected. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. So I'm going to create this event, and what this is doing here, this is calling the Aleo program puzzle pieces v15. It's calling the function mint private. I'm going to mint 500 puzzle pieces to myself using this address. So whenever I press accept, this is going to start creating that zero knowledge proof using either local or delegated proving, in this case delegated, and should be about 40 seconds until it settles on the network. So quick brief for those unfamiliar with Aleo network. Let's show you what this looks like. So this is an unconfirmed transaction, but what's happening here is that I called this thing called puzzle pieces v15 mint private, and then the fee was something that, as I mentioned before, we have feeless transactions right now with the Aleo account abstraction. So you'll see that I didn't have to pay a fee because this wallet doesn't even have Aleo credits, but this fee of 1.5 credits was paid for by our fee payer with the account abstraction stuff. So that's why I was able to do that transaction. And then you'll see that what I did was call this Aleo program. So this is a smart contract that sits on Aleo. You can see kind of the source code here is, we have these different records that we could have, and we have these different functions that you can do. And if you really want to see the source code, you can see these are the record types, and then the functions are here. So you can mint privately, you can transfer privately, you can stake and transfer it in, you could stake and transfer it out, you could transfer stakes to a joint multisig, etc. So yeah. That's what the program looks like. Whenever it's called, you'll see that there is nothing but ciphertext that was put into it. So all those inputs that I put in are private on the network, and everything that comes out of it is just commitments or records that are all ciphertext as well. So it's private to everyone on the network. They can't even see what address even interacted with it. All they have is a proof. that something happens somewhere using that function. So if we go back to where's Alex and we connect here, you guys may remember that we had 0 puzzle prudence, and now you'll see that we have 500. So right now I'm going to just show you guys a new game here. So I'm going to play this address, challenge the puzzle team to be able to earn here. And what is this game? This game is the simplest form of Battleship. You just hide Alex on one of 2 sides of the board, and then the other player has to guess where and what side you hit him. So I'm going to hide Alex in the weeds here. I'm going to maybe wager up 25, little puzzle prudence, and then I'm going to propose this game. It's going to ask me to sign this message. This is putting it in the private multisig, and then I am going to accept. And now it's going to start proving and playing the game. Okay, so this next bit is probably not going to take 45 minutes, but I want to see how quick we can run through it. And if you guys here have questions that you want to ask on what's actually happening in the game, then it may take 45 minutes and we can actually go through. So last but not least, you'll see that this is creating an event and kicking it off. So that's creating the zero knowledge proof of this game. And again, we have no credits right now, but we're still able to play the game because of the account abstraction stuff that's paying for the fees on behalf of the users. All right. So, as everyone that is trying to fork this and make their own game, this is what we're going to make our own game version of. We're going to make a Where's Alex clone. You'll see that it's been forked in 70 times or so. We have 25 different versions of it that we know about, at least, that people have made either through workshops or giveaway hackathons and stuff. So we have, what's Gary doing here? And there's different things that Gary could be doing. We have another one that's Where's Adam? And we have one guy that just plastered his face everywhere and made Where's Omer? So, yeah, we've had quite a few kind of pop up and make some fun ones. But, yeah. So going into it, first thing we're going to do is just create a clone. I'm just going to, maybe go out here into my general. Nope. Let's see. All right. Can you guys see? Do I need to make it bigger? All right, so it just went into Where's Alex. Let's break open that code. Oh, gross. Okay, I don't know if anyone's here has used cursor, but I'm going to use cursor for this because cursor's goated. Okay, let's get out of this. Let's get out of this. Let's get out of this. Documents. Am I going crazy? Do you guys see Where's Alex on this thing? Let me live. Okay. And actually, I'm going to change the name of this too. Let's make a new name. Let's call this. I've already done Who's the Father, so let's go into Maybe what's better? Let's make a little guessing game as to what you think is better. Pineapple on pizza or blue cheese on pizza or something like that. Let's just have fun. Okay. Sorry, one sec. Okay, so we forked the repo. We have forked the Aleo programs that you'll see in here. So just a high-level overview of what this repo is. We have Aleo programs in this program folder, which is kind of how you're interacting with the stuff on Where's Alex. So this is where like the labels on each of those come from. And there's a puzzle pieces program. So this is all the tokens that you're using to actually play the game. They're the game piece tokens. Then we have this main Leo one, and this is for like the actual game, Where's Alex? So we're gonna be changing this Where's Alex one, and then we're gonna be changing the puzzle pieces one during this session. And last but not least, there's just this utility function for PvP games that are multi-party that we had talked about before. And that is the last piece that we can change. Aleo programs are pretty simple. They just have one main.leo folder, and right now there's not a ton of ways to test. So we have little bash testing scripts here to be able to test all the games. And then using them, the main like game TypeScript page is way more complicated. So we just have different pages here on accept game, finish game, new game, renege, reveal, answer, home, and welcome. And we're going to be changing various ones throughout that. But yeah, let's fly through this right now. So first thing that we're going to do is deploy our own ZK game Aleo programs to Aleo. So step one is going to be getting tools for Aleo program deployment using SnarkOS CLI. Steps 2 to 6 is just making our own ZK game pieces and ZK game program. And steps 7 to 9 is deploying our ZK program to Aleo. If you get to this point and you start having any issues, you may need to install Rust, SnarkVM, SnarkOS, and Leo if you haven't already. And we recommend adding the Leo extension to your VS Code. And there's these videos on the docs page in case you're having issues with it. Lastly, let's start making our own ZK game pieces program. So as we mentioned, we're going to open up VS Code here and go into the program folder. So I'm actually going to boot this to the side. We're going to update the Puzzle Pieces V15 Leo program to our own unique title. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to make pizza pieces. We get some pieces of pizza with these game pieces, and I'm going to call it like VO1 or something. So then in here, I'm going to go to this main Leo program. I call this my actually wait. I'm gonna rename this so I don't have to change the V16 bit. Or no, I'll change it. And I'm just being lazy. Okay, so now I'm gonna Control F. Looks like this is the only time that's here, but actually, let me go in the order of the actual docs. So the docs say that I should first and foremost go to the .json file and change the name there. So let's change the name here to pizza pieces v1.aleo. Okay. So then I will change this to also be pizza pieces v1. Okay. All right. And now we're going to use the test.sh file in here to make sure that it all works. So let's get a little guy going. Let's cd into program. Let's cd into pizza pieces v1. All right, and let's do bash test.sh and make sure that this is calling the right functions. All right, so what you guys are watching here is all of the Leo zero-knowledge proofs compiling and running from our Leo program. So Leo is an instruction and register-based zk virtual machine. So all of these Leo programs are compiling into Aleo instructions. There is a set of instructions that the Aleo team has created zero-knowledge proofs of. In the virtual machine, there's zkVM. And zero-knowledge proofs are being created for every single one of these. So, it looks like they took out the constraints. So I can't see. There it is. So you can see how many constraints these zero-knowledge proofs have for each function. So every single function inside this contract creates a zero-knowledge proof. Every single one of these functions have a certain amount of constraints. So this one has 11,466 constraints. If we go up to here, this one's 8,000 constraints. And what we're going to see is, these will have certain outputs that they put. So these are records. These are like UTXOs that come out of each one. All right, so now we have our updated puzzle pieces program. And now let's update our Where's Alex program to import our own token with the unique title. So we're going to go to source, or we're going to go back into program. We're going to go source and program. Let me actually see, okay. The first thing we're going to change is Where's Alex here. So we're going to say what's better v01. We're going to save that. And then in here, we're going to have to change two things. So we're going to change every instance of Where's Alex to, actually we're going to change every instance of puzzle pieces v16 to puzzle pizza pieces v01. Actually, let's just replace all. All right. So we're going to save that bit. And then we're going to control F this guy. And let's change the name of our program to what's better v01. This guy, we're going to change it there, so what's better v001. README, I'm not going to change that. And then let's test our testing script. So let's cd out of this guy. Let's cd, or actually, I think we're just good. Bash test.sh. Oh no. Looks like I'm missing something. All right, this is why we test. Let's see. Nope. What is going on here? Okay. I need to go and update this in the imports. So you'll see puzzle pieces v16 is there. And what I'm going to do is go to my pizza pieces, go to going to go to my pizza pieces. I'm going to go to my main.leo here. I'm going to copy it all. And then I'm going to paste it. I'm going to save that. And I'm going to rename this to pizza pieces v01. Okay. All right, we fixed the import problem. Let's go back and test if this is going to give me nothing but red. All right, there we go. It looks like we're all getting greens here. We're accepting game. We're reviewing answer. Finishing the game. All right. So it looks like our testing scripts passed. We got all the Aleo programs updated. You'll notice that these game programs are much bigger because they're using imports. They're calling other smart contracts that exist on the chain, and they're importing them. So this one has 38,000, for instance. We have some with 52,000 versus this one with just 6,100. And all of these are records that are being made. So this one, reveal answer game, has 97,000 constraints. We're getting up there as far as the constraint size goes. And 93,000. So it can be kind of intense. These games are not optimized, so you can slim it down way more. But yeah. We'll save this. Save this. But right now, we have done everything that we need to do steps 3 through 6 to update our game pieces and then update our actual game program. Okay, all right, I got 5 minutes. So we are going to deploy our contract to Aleo right now using Puzzle Wallet. Yeah, I think this, I actually may need, I may need an account that has enough Aleo credits. So let me see if I have any of that. I do not have enough there. So it may not be enough. So let me... All right, so you do need 70 Aleo credits to be able to deploy, and you actually need that on an account. So I'm going to send some to myself. We do have a faucet, so you can do this without needing an account with a ton of Aleo credits, but unfortunately, I don't know if I'll be able to get around having enough in the faucet to do this. All right, so I'm going to try to at least... Huh? Yeah. All right, you said open up my receive. Okay. If anyone wants to send me credits right now. All right. So I'm going to bring up my terminal again. This time I'm going to do a little SnarkOS deployment. Okay, let me... Yeah. I'm trying to think. Okay. I'll go copy paste this into text editor here. And replace the things that I need to replace. Let's see if you guys can see that. So I'm going to replace this with my pizza pieces v1. And I'm going to insert my private key. Please no one steal my private key. Here. And we're going to deploy using this. All right. Let me cd into program. And I actually need to cd into pizza pieces v1, then call that. Oh. Okay, 1 second. All right, I need a cd into build. Okay, so what this is doing is creating a deployment transaction for that Aleo contract and deploying it to the network. And yeah, I think I'm about 2 minutes at time right now. So we do the same thing with the game program and then just updating our own ZK game front end and changing what function is called. All you kind of do is just search for the contract name. So if we go here and jump into source, we can kind of we can search for everywhere that this is actually included in. But yeah, I think I'm about out of time. We should see this has deployed. So if we go to go to Block Explorer. We can search the transaction. You can see that I tried deploying puzzle pieces or pizza pieces v1 to the network, and yeah, we would just do that for the ZK game piece, and then we have all the instructions to update the front end so you can make it your own and make it unique and make it fun. And then we'd be able to even pull it up on these arcade machines, and you can actually play it and win some prizes for it. So thank you, guys.